Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. In this video I'm going to go through the Kingdom Hearts 3 Bring Art action figure. This is a triple pack. It's the Sora, Donald Duck, Goofy, Toy Story version figures. I finished the game now, so now I'm ready to do the unboxing of these figures because I didn't want to spend time doing other stuff. I just wanted to focus on playing the game. So here's the packaging. You'll see them laid out nicely with Goofy, Sora and Donald Duck there. They look pretty good in the packaging, I must say. And on the side is the pattern artwork that comes with most things Kingdom Hearts 3 related and most things Kingdom Hearts these days. On the reverse are some nice photos of the figures in action and then some text at the bottom. Top has nothing too meaningful. Other side is the same. Bottom and top. So let's get these open and I'll go through them one by one. So here are the figures all unboxed. Took a bit of time to get them out of the box. It's a bit of a struggle with how tightly some of these are packed, and there were a couple of issues which I'll get into momentarily. So in the box, of course, you saw that you got the 3 figures and their respected accessories, but you also get stands with these figures. So play arts or bring arts normally come with a stand provided, but because there's three figures in this one and it's a triple pack, you get 3 stands. So I've only got the one shaft here, I'll put the others to the side, but you do get 3 stands, and then you get 3 pairs of different kinds of hooks. So you get a more circular hook like so and a more clampy one, so you can choose which one you need to use based on your needs. So here's the base of the stand, which is a heart-shaped one. They're all the same as far as I can tell. You just put the shaft in like so, this way around I assume. Nope, this way around. Yep. Plug that in, get one of the hooks that you want to use or claws and attach it to the end, and then you've got these screws on this side which you can unscrew and tighten as you need, depending on the pose. Sometimes if they're a bit elevated, then you need to tighten the screws to keep them a bit more stable. So you get 3 of those. So I'm going to put these to the side and I won't attach them. They plug into the back or around if you want. I don't think you can pull them off. Yeah, usually use the claw. They won't plug into the back. It's just going to be by the claw. So the figures you can see are Goofy, Sora and Donald in their Toy Story forms. Remember, this is a triple pack and it comes via the Square Enix Store. It's an exclusive because it's a bundle, so you get the game, deluxe edition of the game with this. So included with the figures then is Goofy's shield. Comes with extra pairs of hand. Then Sora comes with his Toy Story Keyblade, extra pair of hands, 1 extra face, head even. Donald comes with extra pair of hands and then his staff weapon too. So I'm going to go through then. Let's go with Goofy first. There are a couple of issues. They look good, by the way. Just a small quick inspection that I did off camera. They look pretty good, but there are a couple of issues when it comes to function. So yeah, that's why I may sound a little bit not entirely happy, but yeah, they look good for starters, as you can see here. So I'm going to have more pictures towards the end of the video anyway, but let's take a look at Goofy. Now, before it actually happens to me on camera, I'm just going to show you his left foot is very loose on the joint, and it's not the first instance that happens. So this one, I'm probably just going to I'll put it on for now, but chances are it's going to fall off, ruin the display behind. But if it does, we'll deal with it. But it's super loose. Like it's one of those, yeah, it's very badly loose. So anyway, he looks pretty good. The paint on him is generally quite good. I mean, whether you like this color scheme of Goofy is up to you, but I think it's good. I like the Toy Story designs. I thought, why didn't they go with Bring Arts or Play Arts when they did the Toy Story World? But this is a unique, old school kind of look to him, and he looks good. It's quite tall as well compared to Sora. He's a bit hunchback. I've got him. So articulation then. Well, before we do that, let's give a closer look to his face. A bit of a paint issue there, but it's negligible in my opinion. I can deal with that. He's got some glasses on his cap, sideways cap. Goofy's a bad man. And then yeah, he looks pretty good. The feet, they have the screws, the screw-ish type of thing underneath. I just found that interesting. Goofy's like the only one though that has any toe hinge. The other 2 do not have that. So going with articulation then, and there's problem number 2. So the heads on these, not just Goofy, it is going to happen with Sora too, are super loose. Now if you've got a Bring Arts of any kind before, and I've got the original Sora Bring Arts and the variant forms, the head can be quite loose on the peg. So here I'll show you. It's just a peg on the head and it's a ball joint, but it's super loose. So try not to hold it by the head if you can help it. Let's move his head up a little bit. Mine by the way, the joints are super stiff when they came out. So you're going to have to either dip them in warm water, leave them for a couple of seconds, and then take them out and wiggle them. But expect very stiff joints, because mine were, all three of them across the board, stiff joints. So moving his head up without his head coming out. So it's not too much. It's a bit hard because, like I said, stiff joints, and can't do too much with the amount of free time I've got, which is not a lot. Move it side to side a little bit. And then, of course, you can move it left to right, but that's super loose anyway. Arm then, I'm going to take his head off. Oh, no, actually, no. I'll leave it on. But the ears can hinge there, upwards. See, like I said, his head is super loose. Put that back on. I'm going to keep my finger there. His ears do move here as well, but be careful not to tug too much or they will come off. They're just on a ball joint there. As in, it's just a ball molded onto the end of this ear. When you do put it back, it's a little bit awkward. Try not to push too much because you might end up breaking or snapping the entire ear, and you wouldn't want that. His mouth does not close or open any further than it currently is, so that's a bit disappointing, but it's the kind of figure where it's a bit limited intentionally, but at the same time I think they could have included it. Anyway, so his shoulder then, he can move upwards. I'm presuming all the way around, but I don't want all these loose joints flying all over the place. It's on a ball joint there. It's better than Sora's, which I'll get to momentarily. The joints on the elbow, he can move it upwards, but it does also move backwards like so, and I think that's a design choice, so it's not too bad. If it's an intention, or either way, it's not bad, but it doesn't move loosely or loosey-goosey for now. I'm guessing it will, because Bring Arts have an issue of that, of quality in general, I mean, so it could probably happen. I expect the worst, but it's okay for now. Then the wrist, you can move on a ball joint there. But there we go, it's come off. I haven't actually played too much with his hands, so that's as far as it can go up. And then down before they come off is about there before it's coming off. So that's going to happen on most of these joints. I've had that happen with Sora and Donald. It's too easy for their hands and stuff to just come off just by moving them around. So it's a little bit annoying for the long run. Then moving down, see, I haven't even gone to the rest of the joints. Moving down to the mid-torso bit, so you can bend forward ever so slightly, backwards, not too much, nothing on the side. There goes his foot, twist like so, and then down to the leg. The legs all joint in the hip right there, so it can be quite unbalanced at times, which can look for a very ugly figure and a bit annoying to work with, especially when you got mine, where the foot comes off all the time. So just take off the foot and then rebalance it, because when I say rebalance, it means something like that will happen. So just rebalance. So he's got a twist on the upper thigh, which is nice. Sora has that too. I think that's a cool touch. There's no pull down mechanism here. The knee then bends that far back, pretty much a right angle, but it can move forward to similar to the elbow, but it will stop at that point. Foot, I'll just show you on the one that isn't so loosey goosey. So he has a hinge, like I mentioned before. He's the only one that has the hinge, the toe hinge, and then he can rotate his foot, which is at a joint further up, but also on the ball at the ankle, so he can pivot too. So it's pretty standard stuff, nothing too special. It works for the kind of figure that it is. It's supposed to be deliberately limited articulation anyway, and you know, it's fine, it works. It looks cool though, but that is super annoying. So I'm going to put this aside and then quickly show you how to, actually no, hold it, let me show you how to change his hand. So it comes off so easily because, you know, that's how it is with these figures. And you just put on the other hand like so. Okay, now that doesn't even want to go on, so it's a bit inconsistent, I'm finding. Is it going to go on? Is it going to go on? Yeah, it's kind of on there. It's quite tight. There we go. This on there. This is the hand that holds the shield. So the shield is just on a handle like so. It doesn't seem to articulate, so you're just going to have to force it in. Now, I was expecting it to be a lot stiffer than that, because Donald's one I haven't even really done properly. But there we go. This is Goofy with his Mickey Mouse shield. Looks pretty good. Now I'll move his foot. It's going to come off. So I'm going to put him down and then move onwards to Sora. So Sora, I'm going to go with, well, let's go with the figure. Quick look at the figure then. Now, firstly, he looks quite good. He's got a good, fairly decent paint job. As in, you know, when I say fairly decent, I mean actually it's quite good. There's a bit of paint smudge in there, but again, these are things that if you're super picky, then yeah, you might pick up on, but when it's on display on your shelf, it's not a big deal. With Sora though, I do find that the seams on his joints or his limbs are a little bit more pronounced in person. So here you can kind of see a bit of a glue or whatever it is there, but it's not too bad. Again, when it's on display on the shelf, it should be fine. So he looks quite good. I did have one issue though where wherever during manufacturing, someone left their fingerprint on the bottom of his boot. So I have someone's fingerprint right there. So if I ever need to find them, well, I'll have to pay some money and then do that. So anyway, with Sora, I had an issue, so I'm going to bring it up straight away. His head came off straight away. Similar problem to Goofy, but not the same. So when I say similar, it just came off, but I couldn't get his head back in until I did a hairdryer. I got a hairdryer, pointed it at the neck joint a little bit, not too long because I don't want to melt the figure and set up in flames, but I did that a little bit and then it allowed me to put the joint back in. I think it was just too tight, so as you saw me change Goofy's hand, it was quite tight when the other one was very, very loose. Same thing happened here, so I just kind of had to heat it up before I could force the head joint back in. Now, it's still not in entirely, I don't feel, not comfortably, and the joint itself was super, super stiff. It doesn't apply just to his head, the joints were stiff throughout the figure, especially the shoulder, which I'll get to. So, looking at the, okay, I've just seen his head there, a bit of a gap there. That could be much improved. Not sure if that happens on his other head. Take a quick look. That could be improved. Yeah, there's a bit of glue or paint or whatever it is inside. Could be improved. Now, Bring Arts aren't the best when it comes to quality in general, but these ones are a little bit on the lower side just because I'll detail more for this figure and then Donald too. So the head thing I mentioned, let's go with the articulation and just kind of show you, and I'll get to the points as I get to them. So a head can move up not too much before it comes flying off. So relatively about that much, but it gets stuck with the back part of his hair. Then again, it's coming off again. He can move down. There's a bit of neck articulation there. I'll kind of show you like so. And then he should be able to tilt left to right. And he can. But again, the head might come off. Shoulder-wise, he can bring his shoulder upwards and then swing him up and down. Now you can hear how stiff my one is. Now these shoulders are a bit different because they're a bit on that. I don't know what the exact term for these joints, but they're a bit old school like, if you will. So there's a ball joint inside, and then this one is more of like a hingey kind of thing. So this here is a mold, and it doesn't look super secure. So because his left shoulder was incredibly stiff when it came out, it was incredibly stiff such that if I twisted it too much, I felt that it was just going to end up twisting and breaking off. So again, I used a hairdryer, did that for a couple of seconds and try to loosen it up with small little tugs like so. So here, now I can finally do it and move his shoulder up, but before, fresh out the packet, it was just not happening. Now the reason I think that is because, as you can see, the joint is painted. Now I don't know if they didn't let the paint on the torso bit dry before they put the joint in, or they wanted to paint the joint. Whatever it is, that's not good, because you can see it all here. Just use a grey joint. Just get one that's coloured plastic instead of black, and then painting it. So whatever method and steps they took for that, that's really annoying. And if I wouldn't be surprised if someone ended up getting having theirs broken by accident because the paint's set and it's got the joint stuck. So be very mindful of that if you do have this figure and you haven't opened it yet. So just tug at it a little bit, but not too much. And if you do have stiff joints, set it in some warm water or put it on a warm radiator or a low heat hairdryer just to kind of warm it up a bit. Do not do it too much such that you melt the figure. Be careful of that too. Back to the articulation then. So I showed you the shoulder. His elbow is very similar to Goofy's. You can move upwards, but it also moves the other way too. Design choice, but hopefully it doesn't loosen up too much in the future. The wrist then can twist, but it will also have the same problem with Goofy, where if you do too much, the joint will come off, the hand will come off. It's not a bad thing. Well, it's not as bad on Sora, but it can be annoying as you're playing. Torso, oops, there goes his head, which kind of was my fault there because my thumb went away. But to show you the torso, you can move forward a little bit like so, backwards a bit more before you get the gap that occurs. Twist pretty decently. Twist down near the belt area, hips area. He's got the same upper thigh twist as Goofy does, which I think looks quite good on Sora. It works pretty well too. The leg is the same, 90 degrees, just over 90 degrees, and then frontwards a little bit before his pant cuffs get in the way. And then he's got a twist at the bottom. I believe he's got a twist here. No, he didn't. So he's got a twist at the bottom here, at his calf, and then ball joint for the foot. So it can pivot, but no toe hinge. So his feet are better compared to Goofy in terms of sticking and being joint together, but he has a head problem and he had stiff joints at the shoulders, so keep that in mind. Now he comes with a bonus head. I say bonus, but just an extra head. Now this one is where he's smiling. I think it looks a bit weird. I mean, from a distance it's not too bad. From this angle I think it's a bit kind of weird looking, but it's okay. I like his hair in it, generally speaking, minus the little gaps and imperfections there, which I think Japanese manufacturers in general, like Figma and SH Figuarts, would have done a better job. But otherwise he's not bad looking. Just hope that you get one that isn't so loosey-goosey or, you know, has tight joints or things like that, super tight joints. Now he does come with extra pair of hands, so he has open palm hands. Show them properly, like so. And the other side. And then he comes one that can hold the keyblade. Of course, he's got to hold his keyblade. So this one will hold the keyblade. Now, his keyblade is this. This is the Toy Story one. Of course, it's going to be this one because it's based on a Toy Story world. So here it's got Sheriff, Star at the main part of the key, Cactus with a cowboy hat, and then the scarf. And moving further downwards, it turns into Buzz Lightyear's stuff. And then the alien charm. I don't remember if this was supposed to be Link's in the game. I'm presuming it was, so I think that's kind of disappointing that it wasn't real Link's. But hey ho. Now to attach the hand to this, you have to take the keyblade apart. Again, mine was ultra stiff such that I had to use a hairdryer to heat it up a bit, and even then it was ridiculously stiff. So I've kind of cheated a bit here. So you can see it's not fully connected right here. Just pull it like so. Even then, see, it's quite stiff. Pull it like so, and then what you do, you get the hand, put that in. Whoop, hope I'm not doing the wrong way around. Ah, here we go. Yeah. Slide it in. It's going to be quite stiff, I imagine, but there we go. And then attach this back on. Yep, there we go. Oh, I've closed it too tight now, so it's going to be struggle to pull apart again. And then, yeah, just take his other hand off. Will this be as stiff as Goofy's one? Well, let's find out. It's attached to the joint. Move the alien out of the way. Yeah, okay, there we go. It wasn't as bad as Goofy's. So there we go. That's, yeah, I feel like I've done it the wrong way around. It should be the outer side, but anyway, that's how you attach the keyblade. And now his head has come off. But why not just swap it then to the other head whilst I'm at it? It's that simple because they've got such loose joints. So that's Sora. Then finally is Donald. So Donald is much more of a basic figure, but he still has issues of his own. So Donald then, giving a closer look, he does look quite nice. I do like the blues and the, you know, just the general paint on him, the reflective on his the little hems, you might call them. I'm not really into fashion or anything, but yeah, I like that. It looks good. I just like the grey blue as well of his jacket. It's nice. It looks good, but he does have his own issues too. Now, moving on to articulation, he can't move his head too high up. You can see right there, it just gets stuck. Moving down, same thing. Left and right, not as bad, but it's still very, very limited for him. So yeah, before you do that, if you do it too much, then his joint will just pop off. So I won't do that too much because I don't want to, you know, risk snapping it too. Then he has shoulder joint, which I had similar issue to Sora, but not to a greater extent as Sora. But it was still annoying. So again, warm it up if you need to. So he can lift his shoulder up and around, like so. The shoulder sleeve does move too. So if you get it misaligned, you can just twist it back to use small fingers, or if you've got small fingers, good for you. If not, you should still be able to do it anyway by pinching around here. Elbow, like so. Hello. And then it bends down the same way. Oh, there goes his hand, like so. Now the wrist, I just showed you, same thing as others. It can be a bit loose at times, or if you pull it too far, further than it needs to go or can go, then yeah, of course it's going to come off quite easily. But that's the wrist. It twists around. Doesn't really have anything else going on for his hands. Oh, almost lost him there. Nothing on the hips really. He can't crunch forward or anything. Can he twist? Not too much. Joints are stiff, but he probably can twist a very, very small fraction. but it's Donald Duck. I'm not expecting a lot of stuff from him anyway. Not in a bad way. Not in a bad way. Then for the legs, there we go. There, his foot comes off not as easy as Goofy's, but it still comes off quite easily. So be careful. Not be careful, but be mindful of that. He's got right angle there at his kneecap, which does indeed bend forward a little bit. Okay, maybe it does come off as easy as Goofy. So as you can tell, there are some issues with these figures in terms of holding on to their limbs. That is frustrating when you're posing and trying to take pictures and, you know, put them on display, anything. It's just very, very frustrating to have. Before I forget, then he's also got a bit of a joint. I guess this is hip. I don't know what you want to call it, groin area for the duck, and he can split his legs. There we go. So that's Donald Duck. He also comes with extra pair of hands. So he comes with 2 fists, like so. They're quite white, matte finish on them. So try not to get them dirty because they might be a bit annoying to clean. Bit awkward to come in focus on camera, but there they are. And he also comes with one to hold his staff. So with Donald's staff, I had a similar problem that I did with Sora's Keyblade, where it was very, very hard to disconnect the handle bit in order to put the hand on. So with Donald's one, you have to take the bottom part off, as so here. I've cheated and taken it off a little bit. Now in the instruction sheet that comes with it, it actually says there's a protruding part at the bottom of the main part. It's not, it's a lie. It's actually on this bottom part right here, the little bauble bit. So I've taken it off. Then you get Donald's staff holding hand, and you just feed it in like so. It was very, very tight, so you're gonna have to twist, and then again, as I mentioned many times in this video, warm it up with some water or a heater or something, but be careful not to ruin the figure. So you put it in, and then once you've got it in, you just place the bauble back on, and then we'll get Donald the figure, change his hand, came off easy, and then put the other hand on. That one's a bit stiff, the joint was a bit tight, and there we go, he's holding his staff. So that pretty much covers all the Kingdom Hearts Toy Story version Bring Art figures in this. Well, oh look, that's a bit weird. I didn't even do too much. I know the right one's a bit annoying, but all I was doing was trying to split his legs a little bit. But okay, yeah, so that covers the figures. They look good, but honestly, aside from them looking really, really good, they're just frustrating. I haven't spent a long time with it. There we go. It's just super, super frustrating to play with, to pose. I'll take, you know, 2 or 3 photos afterwards of them, just to kind of show them in a better light. But other than that, they are very, very functionally just a little bit all over the place. I know Bring Arts in general have a little bit of quality here and there. Similar things happen with their play art figures as well. I just hope that they can give the Kingdom Hearts 3 license to something like SH Figuarts, who already do, you know, Kingdom Hearts 2 figures of Sora and Donald and whoever else. So just giving the Kingdom Hearts 3 one, because it's not like they can't give it to other people, because Diamond Select Toys have Kingdom Hearts 3 figures, I believe, coming out too, and that's Diamond Select. They are legit toys. They're not like collectibles, they're just toys. So yeah, if you don't have these, I would, if you get them cheap, like really, really cheap, because this was what, £200 or something with the bundle, that included the game, the deluxe edition of the game, no less. That was quite expensive. If you can get the triple pack of the figures very cheap, I'm saying, you know, less than £100 cheap, maybe even less than 70, less than 60, then yeah, it's maybe a good deal. But I think otherwise they're just really, really, really annoying because of so many issues, quality issues, basic issues going wrong here, that I just couldn't recommend them at their full price. At that point though, you might as well just end up buying, you know, the lower price one, even £60. Just buy the SH Figuarts. I've got videos covering all of those figures, and that Goofy is way, 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 way better than the Goofy here. Again, these look good generally, but they're just annoying to work with because everything comes apart or is too stiff to work with. So my recommendation, first, get the SH Figuarts Sora, which, you know, I can pull out the final form version here. You know, it has 1 or 2 issues too. It's not exactly, you know, it's not perfect if you're very, very picky, but if you're like me, then this is pretty much perfect. This is a super good figure. This is SH Figuarts Kingdom Hearts 2 final form figure. There's a regular version of Sora too, same style, same thing, everything is the same, just regular version of him. So get that if you've really got money for one. First choice, get that, and the other figures matching that lineup, which is Donald, Goofy, and Mickey Mouse. Otherwise, then there's the Bring Arts regular version of Sora, which does have some similar issues in terms of, say, the head coming off quite easily, but it had better qualities in elsewhere, like the joints. But again, does suffer some quality issues that the SH Figuarts I feel does much better. Other than that though, balls in your court. So that's the video. Thanks for watching. I know it was a long one. There was 3 figures in one video. And enjoy the rest of my videos if you want to see them. There's more Kingdom Hearts toy videos out there for SH Figuarts, more toy videos in general. Next stuff I'll do is probably going to be the Bring Arts Riku, which I've still yet to do. Enjoy the game if you're playing it. It's super good. I enjoyed it. Let me know what you thought about the game anyway. Thanks for watching. Peace out.